Welcome back to another Cooking with Pappies. I got my sweet little mistletoe. Oh, she smells chicken. Oh, is that gonna be good? Is that gonna be a good puppy dinner, sweetie? I think it is. Mwah! Put you down. We've got puppies at play. It's typical life in our home. We got huge dogs. We wanted to rescue them and give them a good life. Means that they're gonna need to eat good food and play anytime they want to. Seems fair to me, right? Well, the other part of that, of course, comes into feeding huge dogs. People tend to think that's gonna have a huge food bill to go with it. But believe it or not, there is a solution, and it's called cooking for your dogs, cooking with Pappies. These are our sweet Pappies. We love them all to death. They're the best thing that's ever happened to us, and we gotta keep them healthy. So we're once again cooking for our Pappies. We do this all day, every day of the week. We love our babies. We want to give them the best life possible. We rescued all of them. We want to make sure that, especially for poor Sebastian, he never has to remember where he came from because it was a little bit rough. Poor guy had an injured paw and nobody took care of it, and that's all the things we do for him. But beyond that, nutrition. Sure, a lot of people want to rely on kibble and canned food, and of course we do use kibble too. It's a good baseline nutrition, readily available, and especially compared to canned food, a lot fewer recalls going on right now, I can say that much. But nevertheless, you want to make sure that your dogs have a good, healthy, long life. And a lot of that comes down to what goes in. What are you putting in them? What are you putting in yourself? And if you consider your dog's family like we do, you want to make sure that they get the best of everything just like you do, and it's all a delicious, wonderful feast that the whole family enjoys together. And it's really just as simple as being a little smart with your shopping. When you're looking for meat, there's a lot of sales going on at any given grocery store at any given time of the year. And chicken, this whole package of chicken, I think was only $6 and some change. That's a steal. If it's towards the end of its expiration date, throw it in the freezer. That's what it's there for. And then thaw it when you're ready to use it, and you're good to go. No problems. Hi, honey. You want to jump up? Good girl. Luna's ready to cook her dinner. See, she's already checking out her chicken. You're a good girl, honey. She knows it's going to be a delicious feast. And so today, yes, we're doing chicken drumsticks. And we have a good bit of basil to go on top of them. And as I talked in our last video, herbs are hugely important and beneficial. It's a great way to add flavor for ourselves. We're, of course, the more picky eaters in the family, typically. I'm sure somebody's got a dog that only wants things a certain way. But for our puppies, we're going to be using basil on our chicken, and it actually has a lot of great benefits. One being it's anti-inflammatory. Poor Sebastian with his paw, that's a huge help for him. But in addition to being able to help with inflammation, it's an anti-inflammatory. It also serves as antioxidant. It helps limit any sickness that may be coming through. It can also help as a preventative for cancer. And that is not my words. That's straight from the internet. Google it. It's right there for you. Basil is wonderful, but you got to make sure you, just like anything, especially with dogs, you use it sparingly. You're not going to coat these chicken drumsticks in basil top to bottom. You just sprinkle it on top, give it a nice little extra herb crust, and that flavor that we'll enjoy. The dogs will too, I'm sure, but nevertheless, it serves that double purpose of being healthy and beneficial, also really tasty. Win! So, we're gonna dive right in. We've already thawed out our chicken, laid it out here on our wonderful cookie sheet, and we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning these. And then that's all we're doing, is just simply adding a quick little herb seasoning to it. Gives it a nice crust when it bakes in the oven. Put those back out, and of course we've got our olive oil. This chicken came from Meijer. This olive oil came from Meijer. It's a Midwestern grocery chain, and we adore them. The meat, these drumsticks are huge. All of it has been delicious and very high quality, and that's something we want to support. And that's why we're talking about them, because we want to say, hey, this is a great product from a great company, and we encourage, if you've got a Meijer's in your area, check them out. And here we're just going to do a real light drizzle. We're not trying to deep fry the, see, I'm getting too excited here. Just a nice little drizzle just to help it crisp in the oven. And of course get a little bit under the drumsticks too, just make sure they don't stick. And we just drizzle right on top, nice and easy. And then maybe a little across just to help try and get some underneath. Again, just trying to discourage these from sticking to the pan. Of course, it is a non-stick pan. Results may vary. So these are good to go. We've got our oven preheating. We're going to do 400 degrees with these. Again, like I was saying, with when you have the full skin on any chicken, you want to get that good and crisp. You want to make sure that's, you know, that's its own treat in and of itself. But because these have been pulled back a little bit, we're going to go ahead and drop that temperature. We're going to just roast these for 400 degrees instead of 425 if you really wanted to get it good and crispy. And we'll leave them in. This is an example when you're cooking with meat that the per pound metric of how long you cook it per pound doesn't really apply because you've got the huge bone in between all of these. Generally speaking, for a big package like this, I can go for about 35 minutes, take a look at them. If they need a little bit more time, add 5 to 10 minutes, easy peasy, no problem. And so while we're waiting for the oven to preheat, I'm going to go ahead and put these on top of the oven, get them out of our way. And then I can slide our cutting board over, and our vegetable addition is going to be our zucchini. We love our zucchini. The dogs love zucchini. Easy to fry up, saute, steam, anything that works for you works for them. It's all good. And we can just go ahead and chop the ends off of these and just slice right on through. Easy, easy. Probably reduce your size, cut them in half one more time. Make it a little bit easier to chew, but nevertheless, especially when you've got big dogs, you want to encourage chewing, and going too small sometimes isn't quite the right way to go about it, at least not for our dogs. They need all the encouragement to chew more that they can get. Just slide through, get the end pieces. Of course, I'm just throwing everywhere, but oh, there we go. We gotta love. Huge shout out to Samsung. Get rid of the stupid beeping and have your oven sing you a song when it's up to temperature. Awesome. All right, so we can go ahead and get our chicken in. That part's done. Set our timer. Again, I'm going to go for 35 minutes for these. Boom, that part's done. Back to our zucchini. Cut that end off. Nope, those are good, we can keep those. And just sliding right on through. Getting all of our prep work done for the other part. So we've got our vegetable covered. We've got our protein covered. I'm just going to go ahead and chop these in half real quick. Make them a little bit smaller. You can quarter them if you want to. I mean, these zucchinis are actually pretty large. But again, so are our dogs, so we'll be okay. If you've got some smaller Pappies in your home, feel free to go as small as you like. And that does help speed up the cooking time too if you're in a rush. Yeah, just these nice little stacks, slice them in half. Slice them in half. Oh, one more. Boom, done. And we'll grab a saute pan for these. Go ahead and toss all these pieces in, and we'll set that on top of the stove for later when we're ready with the chicken. And we've got our zucchini. Put a lid on it, set it off to the side, and we'll go ahead. We don't throw the end pieces away. Any parts that we don't use, we don't throw them in the trash. We throw them in the compost pail. That is a huge part of all of this. We're trying to grow our own food and do as much self-sustainability as we can, and that also means trying to minimize your trash. All of these kitchen scraps, anything you've peeled, anything you've cut off, compost it, put it out in the garden bed. It is free dirt. And for the next part of our meal, we're going to go ahead and, of course, we need some sort of a starch or a grain. In this case, it's going to be rice. The dogs love rice, especially if you've been cooking meat recently and you had some bones that you were able to make stock with, which we did. That rice is the most delicious thing ever for them, and with the kibble, sometimes our dogs love it, sometimes a little bacon grease helps them love it more. Stock and rice has them cleaning these bowls every time. It is always a win, and rice is very inexpensive. It's great for all of us. You can't go wrong, and it's real simple. You know, you may have a rice cooker at home. I feel I have enough appliances laying around and taking up cabinet space. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way on the stovetop, and the general recipe for that is you double the amount of water to the amount of rice you're using. So in this case, I'm going to make 2 cups of rice, which means I need 4 cups of water to go in this pot and start simmering. So let's get on that. And so we can go ahead and start filling our pot with water. Again, we're doing 2 cups of rice, which means we need 4 cups of water. Right in it goes. Lid on. Heat on. There we go. And in the meantime, you can also go ahead, do need a little bit of oil for zucchini. So we'll just go ahead and get that coated real quick. Again, not very much. You're not deep frying anything here. You just want to make sure it doesn't stick. Helps brown it a bit better. And so we've got that prepped and ready to go.
Hi, Mama. You're a good girl, Luna. Hi, Mistletoe. You checking it out? Making sure I don't screw up your dinner? I mean, you know,
They're not too picky, but they're particular. They can be. They're good puppies. They're also Italian. You gotta take what you can get. You good boy. You wanna jump up? Come here, Pappy. Come on. Come on. Give me a good jump up. Come on. Come on, Pat. Oh, Mama will. Oh, my honey. Come here, Mito. Come here, Mito. I'm gonna go through my legs. Come here, baby. Oh, my little mistletoe. She was the little miracle baby. We got her home with that last Thanksgiving. She was just a little tiny thing running around Kentucky, only a week or 2 old, and I think she was about 2 or 3 weeks when we found her. Mwah. She needed a home, she needed love, and she fell right into place here. And when you get cooked meals like this every night, why wouldn't you?
it's pretty good, isn't it, baby? You're a good girl.
So we've got our chicken in the oven, we've got our water starting to boil so we can get our rice cooked. We've got our zucchini oiled and ready. That doesn't take very long, so I'm holding off on that for just a minute. And we'll get the heat applied to that very shortly, and we'll be starting to move closer and closer to dinner.
Oh, he's a good boy. Look at my Pappy. Oh, he's a sweet boy.
All right, well, we've got a pot of boiling water here. We can go ahead and start adding in our cups of rice. This might actually be enough to use this up. Bingo, yeah, we'll just dump that in. Perfect. Please. Add just a little oil. Keep it from sticking. And I swear we really don't put oil on absolutely everything. It is simply a matter of where it's appropriate and using just enough and not, again, you're not trying to deep fry this. So we just stir it in. I'm not adding any salt. Dogs really do not require salt. They get plenty and plenty of other places, just like we do. So cover that up, drop it to low, and let it simmer. 19 minutes is good. I usually do about 18 to 20, give or take, the amount of rice you're cooking, and we'll be good there. And now that we've got our rice started, we're also going to go ahead and get the zucchini started as well. Just go ahead and toss it up in the pan a little bit. Mix that oil around. Oop, throw some pieces around too if you feel like it. Whatever makes you happy. Right back in. The puppies are hard at play. And we'll go ahead and just leave this sitting. The rice is good and low. You drop it right to low and everything stays in. This will be on a medium heat, and these will saute for a good 10-12 minutes, and then we'll be good. All right, so we got our zucchini heating up here. Hear the oil going at it. Go ahead and give everything a little bit of a stir. I am throwing stuff everywhere today, don't mind me. I just cleaned the whole kitchen, so I'm not too worried about it. Important whether you're cooking for dogs or cooking for anybody. You want to keep a clean kitchen. Keep that stirred up. Grab a little spoon holder there. Keep the pan tilted. You don't want to keep it closed all the way. You're not trying to pressure cook these. You want to make sure that they still have a good texture for both you and for your dogs. Nobody wants to eat mush, right? And of course the rice is doing its job. You turn it on high to boil it, drop it to as low as it'll go. Once you've got it there and you put the rice in, you just stir it around real quick and then you just let it set. All of the water should be absorbed by the time it's done cooking, and that's kind of how you know. Take it off the heat, stir it around, you should be just fine. And we'll come in, keep tossing these vegetables. Go figure, when I'm tossing them by hand, nothing leaves the pan. It's only when I use a spoon that I throw them on the floor. Oh well. You can see as the rice is cooking, the water level's gone down a good bit, but we still have a long way to go. Just showing this in case anyone's not seen rice cooked on a stovetop, because I know a lot of people that haven't. And again, we just keep tossing our vegetables. Don't want anything stuck on the bottom getting burned. Actually getting a good bit of moisture coming up now, so I'll leave the lid off. These are some juicy zucchini. Sometimes you get them that way, and that's okay. And you can see with these zucchinis, you know, I cooked them last time with the broccoli. This time they rendered a lot more moisture than I'm used to seeing, so we won't get these quite as brown as we typically do, but they will still be delicious nevertheless. We just want to make sure we don't overcook them now if we were trying to seek that browning. All of this moisture in here will prevent that from happening, unfortunately, but I don't think the dogs will mind, and I certainly don't mind either. They're good green, lovely color. And you can see now they're really starting to soften up. I wish you could smell this. It's like if you've ever baked zucchini bread. It's just got this really wonderful, rich, lightly sweet scent in the air. You know, there's no sugar, of course, but it just, zucchini just has that really nice scent to it. We'll pull that off the heat, and we'll be good to go there. We got about 2 minutes left on the timer, but this rice is looking about done, and yep, you can tip it over slightly. Be real gentle, of course, when you do that, but there was no extra moisture, so that rice is already done. We get that off the heat and just let it sit. Now it's been about 35 minutes. Let's open the oven and see what we got. Looking beautiful. We got lots of juice rendered. It's starting to brown a little bit. From experience, I would say that this probably still needs about 5 more minutes. You can tell, although the meat's white, there's some edges here. Can't really quite see it on camera, unfortunately, but there's still some coloring in the flesh that shouldn't be there. So we'll just give them a couple more minutes and be good to go.
You good girl, honey. You ready for puppy dinner? You excited for some puppy dinner? You're a good girl. You just want to play. Yeah, you're a good girl, honey.
All right, we've got 40 minutes here. Let's see how we're looking. Oh yeah, I would say that is done. We are good to go. And pull these out. All right, so we've got dinner just about ready here. The chicken's gonna cool for a little bit. Just don't want to burn anybody's mouth. And of course, this pot of rice, you can probably see the steam rising up out of it. This will be toasty for a good bit. Our zucchini's done, but we've got a good coating of basil. We've got puppies at play. Hi, babies. Go get them. It's good. They're gonna run it out before they eat, and then it should be a nice, quiet evening. Also, another win for cooking a big, delicious meal for the whole family. You can have a quiet evening, I swear. It's not like this all the time. Yes, it is. Come here, Pappy. So everything should be pretty well cool enough now. I've gone ahead and added the appropriate measured amount of dry kibble for our dog's weights. I assume everybody else does that too. You'd want to make sure you're giving them the right amount, not too much, not too little. Hungry puppies are definitely not good, but neither are overweight puppies. Because again, one of the big keys here, you know, we're talking about adding the basil. It works as an antioxidant. It literally says on Google, may also help, may, not guarantee, but may prevent cancer. that's a pretty big deal, and especially if we're talking about saving overall financially money on taking care of our animals, the long-term benefits of being able to cook quick, simple meals. I mean, look at this. This was 40 minutes. We have a full 3-course meal for these guys and ourselves. It'll be delicious, and I love hot sauce, so I'll be loading these up for myself. A couple of our dogs like hot sauce too, so that helps. But nevertheless, however you like to have it is right at your fingertips. Shop smart at the store, look for the save. Shop smart at the store, look for the savings, look for the sales. Load up your freezer, that's what it's there for. You can maybe even cut down a little bit on ice cream, because I know that's a big deal with me. I love my ice cream, and I love it a little too much, let's be honest here. But nevertheless, we've got we've got our vegetable, we've got our starch, we've got our protein, and for the dogs, they've got their kibble added already. Let's go ahead and start portioning this up. We'll dive into the rice here. Very toasty still. That's also why I'm starting with the rice, because we're trying to get this to cool down. Make sure we're not burning any puppy mouths. These guys love rice. Even the rice that I throw on the counter, it's all delicious to them. And we'll actually move this over here. The big guys get even more, and it really does help them mix that in good with the kibble, and they just devour all of the kibble. It really works well. Rice, of course, is not very expensive. The more you buy, the cheaper it is. And if you're growing horse puppies like we are, see if I can start getting some 50-pound sacks of it or something. And then, of course, we got our zucchini. Get all the liquid in there too. Just scoop it all right in for everybody. Make sure I save some for ourselves too. So we got that part covered. And then with chicken drumsticks, you can fork and knife it. Personally, I find that to be a bit tedious and can sometimes even waste a bit of meat. I'm going to go at it with my fingers, so we'll zoom in on this. Just dive in and literally just peel the flesh. You can see it's all good and cooked. Throw a little bit on the ground for the puppy. That'll make her happy. And just peel it all right out. It's not too hot at this point. Of course, you're seeing a lot of steam, but maybe I've done this enough that I don't feel it anymore, but hey, whatever works. And just make sure you get as much in there as you can. And then afterward is usually when I'd fork and knife it, just to cut up into smaller pieces. Get some chicken to last a little bit longer. Because of course these big puppies can go through it pretty quick. And of course the other big thing, you save your bones. Make sure you save your bones, because then you can boil those in a pot of water later and make free stock. You got these bones, put them to good use. You don't have to buy the store-bought, you don't need to have the store-bought little boxes of stock that of course are loaded with sodium, whereas here it's just what naturally occurs in the meat. Oh yeah, there we go. That's just all coming off together. Thank you. Make it easy for me. But yeah, just peel it right off with your hands. Get dirty. It's gonna be okay. And get as much of that meat in there for these big old growing puppies as you can. And then of course you just want to make sure you mix it all together real good. I've gone ahead and shredded the chicken up. And especially with the rice, our dogs are real fussy sometimes with their kibble. Sometimes they love it. Sometimes it just sits. But rice really helps them want to chew it all up. Oop, there's a piece of chicken. Let's mash that in there a bit more. Let's get it good and mixed up well. If you got enough juice in the pan, you can mix that in as well. Or if you have your stock that you've already made, maybe you cook your rice with the stock. However you want to do it. These puppies will love it. Your puppies will love it too, I'm sure. All right, puppy dinner time. Here we go, puppy. Sebastian. And that's one of the big important things we do. We feed in the order that our dogs came in. It helps to mitigate food aggression. Good boy, good girl, chew it up. Mistletoe. Here you go, mistletoe. Good girl, chew it up, baby. Happy?
You're a good boy. How is it, Luna? Is that good puppy dinner? Good girl. How you doing, Mistletoe? Is that tasty? Oh, it's a good girl. Chew it up, baby.
And so there we go. We've got happy puppies. I'm about to scarf this down myself because I'm quite hungry. But nevertheless, that's yet another example of a very affordable, easy to cook meal that you can cook for the whole family. We love our Pappies. We want to make sure they have good, long, happy, healthy lives. And this is a great foundation for making that happen. Saves you money on where you're getting your food. It's always better than a canned food. There's no question of that. And again, the long-term savings there too come in the overall health of your dog. If you're able to do this on a regular basis, it will save you in the long run and give you that much more precious time with your babies. Who doesn't want that? At any rate, thank you so very much for watching. We hope to see you back for the next time. If you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you'd like to see done, or something you were wanting to try or see if we have our own little twist on it, or something that you really like that you think others will too, please, please, please share that. Comment below, email. We've got our website set up, flappypappy.com. Check it all out. We'll be doing this regularly and we can't wait to see you on the next one. Thank you so much. All right, hold on. That's one empty bowl. That's almost empty. How you doing, Pappy? Oh, he's a good boy. Chew it up, babies. Yep, those are happy puppies.